Hi everyone, hopefully you can see all the guitar in shot at the moment. Let's just show where we've got to. So I've templated and cut out the 12 string neck, so you can see the Fender little notch there rather than the hockey stick version from the mid 60s. So did that on the pillar sander, as you probably saw in an earlier video. This has all been sanded now down to I think it's 240 grit at the moment, so it still needs some more finishing sanding doing to it, but we've sanded all that smooth, so that one's okay. Also what we've done is we've taken some of the material off of the end just to shape it to fit into this pocket. Now it's not quite there yet, it needs some more work, but it does fit in actually. Let me just take that out because they glued a veneer for some reason into this side of the pocket to make it smaller, but it was too small, so that fits into there, and that's probably a bit too tight considering I'll probably lacquer this with nitrous cellulose clear. And then we come into our next problem, so which is something I'll show you now. So if I put the bridge over the pre-drilled holes here, so you can see that's on the now the Crimson Guitar video kind of alerted me to this. This might be a problem, is the fact that they've got a they haven't got a standard scale length. I mean, we have got a compensated bridge here, so you can adjust the scale length essentially, as you would do on a normal guitar anyway, because the thicker strings tend to need to be longer and the thinner strings need to be slightly shorter. The middle ones are kind of where your scale length is. So what I've done is measured from, taking the steel rule from the nut to the 12th fret. You can see that's 323 millimeters, which means the whole scale length should be 646 millimeters or thereabouts, and that's there. Now if I was to fix the bridge and the neck in as it's currently sitting, that would mean that I would have to adjust the saddles forward on the middle strings. Probably, let's just have a look at that, that's about 6 millimeters forward in order to shorten the scale length to what's actually been fretted on the neck. Now if I do that for the middle strings, that's going to mean that the high E is going to be over its range of adjustment, so that would not work. If you put this kit guitar together and just bolted and screwed it together, sanded it so it all fitted, you'd end up with a poor guitar, because essentially you'd end up with your intonation going out the further you played up the neck. Probably be okay for the first kind of probably 8-9 frets maybe, might even get away to the 12th, but certainly up here in the upper registers, which is not too much of an issue for a 12 string because you don't tend to play that high. But if you do play that high, and it will apply to the 6 string neck as well, you'll end up with it going essentially out of tune as you play further up the neck. So that needs to be sorted. What I'm thinking is going to be the best way, because I need to shape this anyway to fit into the pocket some more, is I'm going to take off 4 to 5 mil. I think I've probably got enough to adjust the bridge 2 mil forward to kind of compensate up to the 6 mil, and then the rest of the saddles then can be adjusted accordingly. The bass one's not too bad because you adjust your intonation backward on the bass strings, but we'll see. Also we've got to take into account that I have got some adjustment to make on the treble string parts of each saddle, being a 12 string, so it makes it slightly more complicated. But anyway, we're going to have to take off I think 4 or 5 mil, so I've kind of marked that out already, and I'll do that on the pillar spindle sander in a second. Let's just pop that out if it'll come. There we go. So So nice and tight fit at the moment. So that neck is getting close to finish. As I say, just got to take the front off there, and then start to get it all sanded down, and then we'll look at, because I wanted to do all the major work on it before I straighten the neck. It does have a dip in it of about ½ mil, which is fine because we can adjust that out with the truss rod, and then we can get on to making sure the frets are nice and flat and even. So I might put a step down from the 17th downwards, I'm not sure yet. Anyway, 6-string neck. You see I've again carved on the spindle sander the standard Strat, American Strat outline on it. I've also had to do some blending work on the back of the neck here, because obviously where I sanded that down, that had a nice kind of cliff edge to it, and it needed to be blended back into the neck. So that's done. That's actually come out quite well. It's slightly different from an American Strat because this curve here, they of course that was already in the headstock. I'd rather actually if they just brought it out from this point here, and then I could have done this curve myself, but hey ho, can't get everything, and for the money I paid it's not that much of an issue. But what it does mean is the actual shape of this headstock, whilst it matches the American standard Strat almost millimetre for millimetre, or even less than that, it's slightly extended a couple of mil away from the nut, so we'll need to sort that out. In fact, there's a bit of an anomaly there anyway. The frets are all parallel with each other, which is good news, and the nut's parallel with the frets, which is also good news. There's just a bit of additional sanding to do on the back here. So I've mostly finished the kind of headstock shape, down to 240 grit again, and then I've basically just got to smooth this face off and tidy that up, and also the back face. I've already done the neck down to here, and then this one is too wide to fit into this pocket, and also the shape is different again, so I'm going to have to do that, and I think that's probably going to be my next job, so that we can get that sat in the pocket and see what the scale length anomaly looks like from this perspective as well, from on the 6-string neck. So being a double neck, of course, everything's kind of, all the tasks are doubled up. so there we go. That's where we've got to at the moment. I'll crack on and do some more work to this, probably this one next. Oh, while I remember it, just a word on the spindle sander. Brilliant piece of kit actually, very impressed with this. I saw it being used on Crimson guitars, didn't know it was a Triton, went and searched on Amazon, and I find that Ben from Crimson Guitars photograph is all over the front of the box, which is brilliant. But I mean, it's a good recommendation. Great bit of kit actually. You've got loads of different size spindles. Everything fits onto the machine itself, so you don't have drawers full of spare bits and stuff. Everything goes in its right place, so like the inserts there all slot into this, even the spanner goes on the back. The dust extraction works brilliantly. Of course I didn't realise I had a dust extraction when I bought it, and you know, it was filling the air full of fine sawdust, and stuck a mask on eventually, and then realised, oh, there's a dust extractor on the back there, and that actually sucks all the dust straight into the machine as you're doing it, and you don't even really need to wear a mask with it. I mean, I guess you do, but it certainly seems to operate nicely without it. So yeah, good bit of kit, highly recommend it. Not too expensive either, and seems to do the job very quickly. I mean, it literally took me 20 minutes to do the Strat headstock, and less even for this one. It's quite hard getting a straight edge obviously on a round thing, but for curves and stuff it's absolutely fantastic. So well recommended. And no, they're not paying me for advertising. Right, so we've just sanded this neck to fit in the joint. I may get brave and take that overhang or lip off of there, I'm not sure. Don't know if you can see it on camera actually, let me just check. Yes you can, okay. So I may take that off, but that's quite a delicate cut. I can probably use the fine tool for it, but let's 2 seconds. The oscillating cutter here will certainly take that down there, but it's quite delicate, so I might just leave that as it is. However, just had a quick look at the scale measurement and remarkably the neck on this one's 324 from the nut to the 12th fret, which means that it's got a total scale length for the middle strings. Obviously the rest of them need to be compensated backwards and forwards. It's got a scale length of 648 and that's almost bang on. So luckily it looks like the scale length on the strap, or actually it's not really a strap, because you could carve a telly headstock into that quite just as easily, but it looks like, I think that's not far off the 25.5 inches actually. Just have a look. Yeah, that's dead on. So maybe since Crimson Guitars got theirs, they've rectified on the 6-string necks the Fender scale length, but probably don't sell enough of these 12-string necks to run, or you know, they haven't got rid of them all yet that they've made at that point. Just kind of a shame, but kind of good. So that means I don't have to take too much, if anything, off of the end of this neck. This one I've sanded down, so now that's within a range of adjustment. So we're pretty good on this. So that's the neck's fitted, and I've just got some finishing sanding to do on the 6-string neck, and then it's on with levelling those. So again, thanks for watching as usual, and tune in for the next video and we'll do more stuff on the double neck guitar.